Picture this, a throne room filled with tension, where 400 prophets unanimously declare victory and glory, their voices echoing off the palace walls. Yet in this sea of agreement, one man dares to stand alone. This is the remarkable story of Micaiah, a prophet whose courage to speak truth to power has echoed through the ages. King Ahab of Israel wasn't exactly what you'd call a model ruler. He had a habit of surrounding himself with yes men, particularly these 400 prophets who seemed to have mastered the art of telling him exactly what he wanted to hear. You know the type, those who'd predict sunshine even in the middle of a storm if it meant staying in the king's good graces. But then there was Micaiah. When summoned before King Ahab and his ally King Jehoshaphat to prophesy about an upcoming battle, he faced an impossible choice. All 400 prophets had already promised victory. The pressure to conform must have been overwhelming. Imagine being the only person in a room of hundreds, knowing that speaking up could cost you everything. At first, Micaiah sarcastically mimicked the other prophets, saying, "Go up and triumph." But when pressed to tell the truth, he revealed a devastating vision: defeat for Israel and death for Ahab. Picture the gasps, the outrage, the immediate backlash. One of the false prophets even struck him in the face, while others denounced him as a traitor. But Micaiah didn't flinch. With unwavering conviction, he described his heavenly vision, God allowing a deceiving spirit to speak through the false prophets, leading Ahab to his doom. It's like being the only person who sees an approaching tsunami, while everyone else is busy building sandcastles on the beach. The consequences were swift and severe. Micaiah was thrown into prison, given only bread and water, condemned to suffer until the king's return, a return that would never come. Because here's the twist. Everything Micaiah prophesied came true. Despite disguising himself in battle, Ahab was struck by a random arrow and died, exactly as Micaiah had foretold. This story isn't just about prophecy. It's about the raw courage it takes to stand for truth when everyone else chooses comfort and convenience. It's about the lonely path of integrity, the cost of honesty, and the ultimate vindication of choosing what's right over what's popular. In our world today, where truth often seems negotiable and speaking up comes with a price, Micaiah's story reminds us that sometimes the most powerful voice in the room is the one that stands alone. His legacy asks us, when truth and popularity collide, which side will you choose? Think about it. What would you do if you were Micaiah? Would you have the courage to stand alone against 400 voices? Sometimes the most important truths come from the loneliest places, and the bravest acts aren't shouted from mountaintops, but whispered in the face of overwhelming opposition.